So I've been single for over 1.5 years now, and here's some things that I've learned. For starters, there is no time frame on healing. There's no time frame at all. I've realized how much I used to hate being alone, and this time has genuinely forced me to start enjoying my own company. Guys, being single isn't all that scary, okay? They say you attract what energy you put out there. So the more you work on yourself and the more you learn to love yourself, the more someone's going to be able to love you just for who you are. Also, dating seriously does not have to have so much pressure surrounding it. I used to go into a date thinking that that person was going to be my next partner in life. And now I've just realized that not everyone is going to suit your lifestyle. So think of it as a fun time where you get to dress up and enjoy yourself, and dinner's on the house, girlies.
Yeah, but that's the problem right there. And that's why men don't want to be bothered with modern women, is because you take this attitude of dinner is on the house. You're actually wasting time and you're taking it casually. You don't have to take it so seriously, but you're not really out there to do what you're supposed to be doing. You're just, oh man, we're just hanging out, just having fun. And it's just nice to be out. It gives me a reason to get dressed up and go out and have dinner, which is fine. It's just you don't really like to do like that. So why are you wasting his money and his time? Did you ever think about it like that?
I'm going to finish that off by saying I'm actually quite enjoying being alone and my own time now. So I'm probably going to be single for a long time until someone comes around and actually adds value, because your girl is very self-independent. And until I find a man who has masculine energy where I can be a little girl, your girl's going to be single.
Not want a poor man.
Why don't you want a poor man? Because you want him to, quote, provide for you, correct?
Because I've been taking care of everything my whole life. The financial burden of...
The financial burden.
Yeah.
You want him to take off the financial burden, right?
Yes.
So if you want him to take off the financial burden, how much do you want? At least half, right?
Yes.
What do you think compensates him for eliminating 50% of the financial burden that you have that he's not responsible for?
It's not that I'm trying to give him half of my financial burden, but...
Literally, you are trying to give him half of your financial burden. What are you talking about? How are you not?
I'm looking for a partner, and I'm looking for somebody that has the same goals.
Yeah, but if you're giving him half of the financial burden, then that's 75% on him, because you were only taking 25%. You gave away half of yours. So really, you're only responsible for a little portion, and he has to take on a third of everything. That's what he's saying. So what are you going to be doing? This is what men are asking. Okay, if you're just going to be sitting around, back to the last clip that you saw, when she was saying, I want to find a man that's going to help me to act like a little girl. Or, okay, fine. You want a soft life. You want all the, okay, so what are you going to be doing? Because a man is not just going to want to take care of you and get nothing in return. There's too many modern women out here that expect a man to just do everything, think for me. At some point, open my eyes for me. Help me to breathe. Just stupid stuff. Do you even want to be alive anymore? That's what it seems like.
And that wants the same thing too. They want their best friend.
How financial burden he's not actually responsible for currently, but in the future he will be based on your choices.
But
right?
that isn't that what marriage is?
Lunch with me while I tell you about the bare minimum things that a guy does that you don't need to be impressed by. We're having a little deli turkey sandwich today. Look, this is just a simple turkey sandwich, but it is the best turkey sandwich.
So you're talking about bare minimum stuff while having a simple turkey sandwich. Once again, you're going to want a man to take you to fancy restaurants, but then you go and spend your money on basic stuff. You want the man to put out $300-$400 on a date. Do we ever stop and actually consider how much money that is? That's an entire bill. In some parts of the country, that's half of somebody's mortgage, at least a third. And you want me to drop that on one night just for you to fool around and say, you know what? You really seem like a nice guy, but I don't think we're going to work out. And you just expect men to take that on the chin. That's crazy work.
Hands down. Opening the car door for you guys. opening the car door or opening any singular door is absolute bare minimum, and he should be doing that immediately upon seeing you. Please do not use that as some sort of like, oh my god, he's such a gentleman, because no, he should have learned that like a long time ago. Like, that we should not be impressed by that. Like, that's absolute bare minimum. Paying for the first date, bare minimum, ladies. You need to feel worthy enough to accept a guy paying for the date. Okay, he asked you. More than likely, he asked you. So accept him paying for this date. Accept him paying for your time, your energy, your beauty. Your time is currency, and that's all you need to bring.
Well, what about his time? Is his time not currency? So the man do you hear yourself? So the woman's time is the only time that's important. Stupid.
Yourself. So that is absolutely the bare minimum, and we're not going to be impressed by that. Now, some people may think that this is a super impressive thing that a guy does, and not everybody knows this rule. I'm going to say it anyways. It's the rule of him standing, like if you guys are walking on a sidewalk together, if he stands like on the side and like near like where the street is, that is very nice. That's a very gentlemanly thing to do. But again, what have I been saying? Bare minimum. But that is something that a man should think to do already. That isn't something that to be so impressed by. Like, if they're not actively doing that, he is like an absolute like low life loser. I'm sorry. You should just have that inherent protector mindset, and that should be something that every guy should know. Every freaking guy should know this. Don't be impressed by that. Buying you flowers. Buying you flowers costs like $5 to go to the store and get some cute ass flowers. Like, honestly, he can probably get the cheapest, whatever. You know what? F that. Fine, flowers? Like, I think that he should be spending more on flowers, in my opinion, but the moral of the story is flowers are very cheap, okay? So that is bare minimum. He should be getting you flowers. If he's not even doing that.
But what about the time that it takes to go get that stuff? You guys need to understand that it takes time to plan that stuff out. A guy has to take out of his schedule to plan that out. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to be. And then the accessories to go with it. But I don't hear you being grateful for the time and the effort. I mean, he's a $5 and he should be spending more on flowers. What else? This date is $50. He should be spending more on the date. This Uber ride is $10. He should be spending more on it. What else? What other stupid stuff you got up your sleeve?
That? Say goodbye. Say goodbye immediately. Like, what are you doing? That should be the first romantic gesture they should even think about, technically. Besides like all the opening door stuff, that should be the next in line. Like, hello? You have to really assess that. You do. Come on. Bare minimum. Complimenting you? Complimenting you as a baddie that you are. Absolutely. He should be complimenting your ass. He's not. Goodbye. See you later.
At this point, I think this is a joke. This has got to be satire. For her to be this out of touch and delusional, this is a joke.
You're lame-o. If he does compliment you, like, yeah.
Who uses lame-o? I know this is a joke.
That should be like expected. You should compliment me. What else are you going to do with yourself? You have a beautiful girl next to you. You should compliment and not be impressed. Just be like, you know what? That's so sweet. Because you already know it, right? You don't really need it, but it's nice to hear. But you don't need that. You don't need the male validation. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. Know that this is like not anything to be impressed by. I'm gonna throw this in there. He should be paying for dates consistently. Almost all the dates, in my opinion. What are we doing as a woman paying for a guy? Why? Ew. Does that not make you feel any type of way? I'm sorry. No. They should at least pay for majority of the dates. That is hands down like bare minimum. And we should not feel so like, oh my God, he's doing all this for me. Oh my God.
Yeah, she joking. Ain't no way. Ain't no way she's this dumb. Ain't no way.
No, you should be like, absolutely. This is exactly what I expect and more. Yes, accept it. Don't be impressed. Like, you're paying for dates. Like, what? What is this? I don't care for the new age of 2024. Like, you're paying for dates. Like, hi. Hello. Good morning and good night texts? Absolutely bare minimum. Bare minimum. Oh my God. The fact that I even have to say this, that should be something, it's a standard that you should expect For any guy, if you're talking to them, they should be giving you that. It's pretty simple to do. If a guy is doing this, it is very simple for them. It takes no real effort. You know what I mean? You should expect that and expect more, of course. That's not like so hard for them to do. You know what I mean? I haven't even finished I've been talking because I've been so passionate. I haven't even finished my whole sandwich.
You've been talking stupid. That's what you've been doing. That's why you haven't finished your lunch. Don't you have to go back to work or something like that? Don't you have something to do besides sit out in your car in the hot sun talking silly? That's probably what's doing it for you. You're sitting out there, you're hot, you're delusional, you can't think straight. The turkey's bad. Something, the lettuce done gone stale, it's spoiled. And now you get out there, your stomach hurt, you're mad at the world. And then you get on here and start talking stupid. That's probably what it is.
I'm adding this. Coming up with somewhere to go for a date, okay? Planning it, the entire date, making a reservation, all of that is bare minimum. If he does less than that, what are we doing here? Are we dating a man? Or are we dating I don't know. Are we dating a man? If you cannot plan a date, you know what I mean? That is bare minimum. He should be planning,
of course,
where to go, what time, make a reservation. All of that is bare minimum. Is it nice? Of course it's nice. You can appreciate all these things that I'm telling you guys, okay? It's very nice, but it's not something to be so goo gaga over. You know what I mean? That should just be like very nice, but you also want this and more. If you guys have more things that are bare minimum, please put them in the comments below, because we want our ladies to literally expect this and more. You know what I'm saying? You deserve the entire world. Please know this for yourself, okay?
Close to me, my prince. You could get hurt. I will open it for you. Oh, babe, I forgot to give you the card for your weekly haircut. Where are we going, my love? I am going to take you anywhere you want. You are my passenger prince.
I can't chase women down, not because I'm better than them or have an ego. It's for my own mental health. We're in a new age, right, where women have hyperabundance, meaning that they don't see guys as like, we're like fourth. I think for Zoomer women, we're like seventh most important. And for women past the wall, we're like fourth most important priority, right? We're not as important as we think we are to women, right? If women do not show me that they don't care about being in relationships, right, then why would I chase them down? I've had women that, you know, offer to take care of my puppy, right? Almost lose him, almost get him killed, and then hand him over to me and say, hey, sorry about your dog, and then laugh and say, hey, I can't see you anymore, I'm seeing another guy. And then a week before that, we were holding hands at a coffee shop. A lot of men are trying their best,
trifling,
and have tried their whole lives to be in the top so they can get a wife and kids. And guess what? Women still are not asking for relationships.
These men are really, even if they're not trying to make six figures, they're trying to do the best that they can to provide for the woman. And if you've worked for 10, 15 years, and after 10, 15 years, a woman is telling you that's not good enough, you're a bum and you're a loser, like we saw in, I think, the previous clip or previous couple of clips, how you think that's going to make a man feel? I mean, forget about men. How you think that's going to make people feel when you do something and they just look at you like you're trash? You need to get back to work. You'll never get somebody like me. And that person hasn't even accomplished anything. You don't have any education. You don't really even have a job. I mean, you're one step out of working at Starbucks, but you're expecting me to be this ultra Elon Musk type person when you don't even have any ambition, you don't have any drive, you don't have any passion. So why would a man want to take care of you when you're going to do the same thing in the relationship that you're already doing? And that's nothing. You're just going to give me, take, watching TV all day. And because you get bored, you're going to start to create drama in the house, and you're going to get wrapped up, I should say, in your little world. He hates me. I'm going to find somebody else, divorce him, take all his money. What man? Who besides men who's going to sign up for that? Nobody.
I can promise you, you can't see this, and I don't blame you because you don't date women, right? But I can promise you, most men are feeling this kind of phenomenon where it isn't until they absolutely have to women will not settle.
She not even listening. She not even interested in what he's saying. Her body language. These modern women continue to ask men, demand men be effective at communication. She rubbing her face, rubbing her forehead, tilting it to the side like when he gonna be finished. And you gonna want a man to listen to you.
Created this. We are the ones that throw money at women. We create gold diggers. We create whatever, right? Because we create the market. I get that.
Exactly. Look at that. Does it look like she's listening? This man trying to share how he feels, which is what they requested. Be emotionally available, be emotionally transparent. And she tilting her head off to the side, got a hand on her head like when he gonna be finished. Okay.
Right. But those are your choices. And that's why women are single, because here's the number one thing they have to adhere to: men's expectations.
Michaela, he's not saying all women take it, but we have a lot of advantages just from being women that we don't even realize. The thing he's talking about, when I was 22 and 23 and I was at work and I got special treatment, I thought it was because I was talented and because I worked hard. In hindsight, it was probably because I was a woman. There's a lot of special treatment that the world gives you, especially when you're a single woman. Would you not say that's true? You get it, male friends? Yeah, okay. And even if you're not accepting the sugar baby stuff, you would still say you get free attention, right? And free perks.
Sure.
Men are throwing so much free stuff at women that some women don't even know they're sugar babies.
Put a finger down. If you decided to get back on Hinge because you wanted to start dating again, you took a minute off and kind of were just like, you know, making friends and vibing or whatever and not focusing on that. And you just decided, you know what, I'm going to get back on Hinge. You match with someone, typically not your type, but still handsome. And I felt like he would probably look better in person, which he did. He looked awesome in person. His profile said he was 6 foot, but he wasn't 6 foot. He was 5'9", something like that. Okay, so you're talking on the phone. You guys are vibing out, and he suggests a date, and the date is to go on a walk.
You know, honestly, there's a lot of these modern women that say the man didn't tell the truth about his height. But then after watching shows like Pop the Balloon, where they literally be going back and forth with a man that is 6'2", 6'3", and in some cases 6'4", 6'5", talking to that man. Oh, I'm as tall as you and I'm in heels. Literally looking up at that man. I'm almost as tall as you. No, you're not. No, you're not, stupid. You're 5'1". You're not even close. You're in heels and he's a whole foot taller than you. So it makes me wonder, when these type of women get online talking about he was this height and he was that height, can I really even believe that anymore? Because y'all be lying and arguing about stuff that don't really even matter.
Walk at a park, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. In my mind, I'm like, okay, that's kind of corny, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's just trying to vibe out.
No, you didn't think that. You was gonna let him do it because you thought he looked good.
Get my vibe before he spends or whatever. I don't know. So I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, it is what it is. That ends up falling through. So he suggests to do an art gallery, and I'm like, okay, period. Like, I'm down with that, just to go see some art, talk, vibe, not anything super loud, you know, whatever. We just catch a vibe. So I'm like, okay, nice. We get on the phone, talk some more, and he's like, oh, where do you live? I'm like, oh, I live so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you're super close to me. You're literally like 5 minutes away from me. And I'm like, okay, period. We're close to each other. And he's like, do you drive? And I was like, no, unfortunately, I don't. I have my license and I know how to drive, but I just don't have a car. I literally work from home and do everything from home. So I'm like, I'm not, you know, there's no use of me getting a car. I thought about getting a motorcycle, but that's...
You a bum. If you don't have a car and you're a grown woman, you a bum. Period.
Still a thought. So he's like, okay, I'll come and pick you up. And I was like, okay, boom, period. Like, we love a gentleman. So I'm getting ready, whatever. He's like, I'm here. I go downstairs. He's standing outside waiting for me. So I walk up to him and I give him a hug. Like I said, obviously he's not 6 foot, but I'm like, okay, he's actually really handsome in person. So we walk over to his car. I promise you guys, I promise on everything I love. I'm not a materialistic guy, but he pulled up in a little hoopty, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. So
I mean, again, you don't have a car. So right off the bat, his is better than yours.
So I walk over. I'm thinking he's going to open up the door for me. No, he doesn't. But then as I realize, I reach to open up the door and the handle doesn't work. Okay. So I'm like, okay, no biggie. It is what it is. He gets in the car, boom, opens it from that side. It is what it is. We're cool. We vibing. I get in the car. I sit down and we're driving. He gives me the aux. I put on an aux. I play my little jams. He's like, oh, I like this song. I'm like, yeah, I like this song too. Woo, 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 woo. So we pull up to the art gallery and we notice that it's a kind of outdoors and indoors. And I noticed someone that I've matched with previously on a different app. And I was like, I'm like thinking in my head, like overthinking it. Like, should I be respectful and say like, oh, I've matched with this person. So if this person comes up to me, like, you know, he knows what it is to not.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it.
Make it awkward. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. So I'm like tapping him on the shoulder and I was like, oh, I'm like, I just seen someone that like I've matched with. So just a heads up, like if this person comes up to me, like, I don't want you to feel weird or anything like that. Cause you know, I don't know what's going on. And he just looks at me, gives me a side eye, whole demeanor changes. And I'm like, okay. So we get out the car and as we're walking.
You already know what he's thinking. Oh, really? Oh, you've been out in these streets like that?
Up, he's like, oh, if you want to, you can go and talk to him. And I was like, no, I'm not going to obviously make an extra effort to talk to this man when it's really not that serious. Like, I'm here with you and we're here to vibe. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he starts giggling and I'm like, okay, here we go. So we walk in. Mind you, he's like not talking to me. He starts walking ahead of me, walking in front of me, goes inside, like literally leaves me. And I'm walking around just like trying to enjoy the art. But also I'm like, I'm sober, first of all. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of awkward. Like, fuck, I don't want to be like, you know, all weird or whatever. But he leaves, walks in front of me, pretty much does his whole round before me and then comes out and says, okay, I want to leave. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I didn't really get to, you know, like I walked around, but like, you know, we didn't, there's a bar here. And he kept saying like, I don't drink.
Your reputation precedes you. That's what's happening. Your reputation precedes you.
Like, okay. And then I'm like, bro, okay, if you don't drink, then like, I mean, I get it. Like everybody's on their sober tip, whatever. So it is what it is. So as we're leaving, cause he says he wants to leave, we're leaving and he's like, we can go somewhere else. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, are you sure you don't want to say bye to homeboy? And I'm like, really, sir? So I'm like, you know what? I can already tell that this is already going to be you know, it's going to be a dub because this is not, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. So we head to the second bar. We get there and it's like a pub, so it's like a huge bar. I get to the bar, I pull up, I go up to the bar because I'm like, I want to get a drink because I need a drink because this person's already trusting me. So obviously he's standing behind me. He ain't gonna buy me no drink because if he don't drink, why the fuck he buy me a drink? Period, I guess. So then I'm ordering the drink. I turn around, this on. I'm looking around like.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, this is over. This is over. You don't realize it yet, but he's already planning his escape. Go ahead.
Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, you know what? Okay, period. Like, it is what it is. I'm just going to sip on my drink, throw back my shot, and I turn around and I see him. And I'm guessing he just did a roundabout to see who's around and who's there. So I was like, okay, I guess. So then after that, we start talking about our lives and our careers and stuff. A lot of it does not line up, like, at all. A lot of our lifestyles just do not line up. Like, what I want to do, what he wants to do, it just is different. And I was telling him about where I live and this and that and my business and stuff like that. And I felt like a little bit of intimidation from him. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know. I just can't get this dude's vibe. So after a while, after we started talking, he's like, oh, you seem like you'd be like a cool ass homie. And I was like, okay, boom, you're setting them up.
Exactly. I mean, what intimidation? You don't have a car.
Period. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But then throughout the rest of the date, I'm like getting mixed signals. Like he wants to talk and he doesn't want to talk. And like, he's asking me about my life goals and things and that. And I'm like, okay, like, do you want to fuck or are we just homies? So we get to this hot dog place. We end up splitting a hot dog. I buy myself another drink. So I'm like, I need to, you know, keep this going. And I'm like, okay, maybe after this hot dog, because he was definitely giving me a vibe of like, I'm trying to wrap this up. So I'm like, okay, like,
this man is on demon time. This man is looking forward to one thing at this point.
Like, let's wrap it up. So we leave the hot dog place and he's like, oh, is there any other bars that you would want to go to? And I'm like, you said that you don't stay out that late and you don't drink. So I'm like, well, what is there to do? And he was like, oh, we can just go and stop somewhere else. I was like, okay, boom. Well, there's a spot that I really like to go to. It's a speakeasy. It's fun. Music is bomb. Sometimes it's a lot of people, but not too crazy. And he's like, okay, boom, let's go. We pull up. This man looks me dead in my face and said, would you care if I holler at other while we're here? And I was like, you know what? My immediate response was like, no, obviously I don't give a shit. Single, like you can literally do whatever the fuck you want to do. So I'm looking at him like, bro, you're a clown. So we get inside the bar, whatever, we're drinking or whatever. He's eyeing some, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. He goes to the bar, orders a drink. And I'm like, I thought you don't drink. Anyways, so I'm over it pretty much. But I'm like, you know what? I probably could just stay here by myself. And if he wants to leave, he'll leave. And then he comes up to me. He's like, I want to go. And I was like, okay, well, he could just take me home. So he can just drop me off at home. So we get in the car and we're about to leave. And he's like, oh, where else should we go? I'm like, bro, it's getting late. You just said you don't stay out late. And he was like, oh, it's okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't have to go home like right now. And I was like, okay, whatever. And my stupid ass still continued the fate. So he ends up driving to the other place. And mind you, my place is like right in between and we're right around the corner from my place. So I'm like, hey, like, can I stop here just to use the restroom really quick and then we can go? He's like, okay, well, if we stop to use the restroom and we get to the bar, can you Uber yourself home? And I'm like, Uber myself home? I'm like, you literally, in my mind, I was like, you literally just told me that we live close to each other. Now all of a sudden, I was like, you know what, girl, what is happening right now? And I was like, fuck, you can just skip the whole bathroom and just go to this place and get a drink. And then he was like, okay, cool. So he starts driving, but then it clicks in my head like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? And why are you still trying to continue this day? First of all, he didn't want to pay for anything. He doesn't obviously does not like you or find you attractive or whatever the case may be. He didn't like what you said earlier, I'm guessing. Like, girl, wrap it the fuck. And he clearly wanted to talk to other bitches. So I just tell him like, you know what? I'm going to leave. And he looks at me all confused like, wait, why? And I'm like, cause like, I can just tell already that this is not like you not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, whatever the case may be. Like, we might as well just end this shit. And then he's like, wow, okay, whatever. Flips a U-turn, drops me off. And I'm like, all right, bro, have a good day. Have a good night. Cause I'm done. Deleted Hinge and cried myself to sleep.
One's going to probably make you a little angry, but I'm going to tell you the truth here. Women are not aroused by your masculinity, being a good upstanding man, being smart, making good money, having high status and competency. Oh, no, 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 no. This goes way deeper than that. Women are aroused by these three letters, and the word is called sin, okay? So as soon as you think that you're so cool because you're this noble, upstanding, masculine man, as soon as a dude comes along smelling like marijuana and whiskey, and all of a sudden he has 2 forearm sleeves of tattoos, he's probably going to be the one who's going to end up sleeping with her. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. I can't control that. That's just how the world works. Don't blame me. Blame the universe. Blame Mother Nature. Blame God if you want to. But that's the truth. I've been doing this enough years to see what women respond to and what they don't. And I can tell you this right now in America, right now throughout the whole world, we have a bunch of overqualified men, not underqualified men. We have overqualified men trying to sell themselves to women for a relationship saying, please pick me. And this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen because most of you are just trying way too hard.
That's a bar, because there's a lot of good men out here trying to put themselves in front of women that don't really even care about them. They care about messing around. Take me on a date. Let me get dressed up. Let me put this on. Let me go do this. And then I'm going to get out here and waste your time. I didn't come here because I liked you. I came here because I was bored and didn't have anything to do at the house. You invited me out. I just went. And a lot of times, some of these women, they do that with their girlfriends. They don't feel like going out. They just be at the house bored, and what's the better alternative? Going out. So I'm going out with you. And since you're a man, you pay. If I was going out with my ladies, we would split it. But I already see you as a friend, but you're a guy friend. And guys pay in any scenario. So yeah, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to be doing my thing. We're going to be vibing. He's a nice guy, but not anybody I see myself long term with. And then even while you're there talking and having good conversation, telling about your life, she don't care about that because she didn't already peep somebody at the bar or whoever it is right around the environment. And she going to go get his number. Talk to him when you drop her off. That's how these modern women are. So like you said, unfortunately, it's like that. Leave them alone and go look and scout for other women that actually like you. And they will show you that they like you by showing interest in you. Now, obviously, you don't want to be out here dating bums, but there's plenty of women out here that will show you some attention and you just go with it. You have good conversation and you just keep on rolling with it. And if you guys like it, hey man, why don't we become exclusive? Hey, let's go over here. Hey, do you like to do this? And y'all start rolling that way and building momentum. And when you guys start doing your thing, you're not going to worry about these chicken heads out here. Anyway, that's just my opinion. To the next video, I'm out.